The CEO's daughter stole my login to access my files, but I had already replaced them with fake data. Tomorrow she will present it to our biggest client, while I sit in the front row, waiting for the perfect moment. His lies exploded. I remember the night I discovered the hole in the castle. The careless way she laughed in the hallway, the way the building smelled of cold coffee and arrogance. I remember the ping of a message, the quiet thief stepping of her name on an access log. It should have been a simple thing. A password changed, a notice sent, a manager called. Instead, she pried open the drawer, reached for the keys, and decided she would be the hero of a story she hadn't written. She wanted applause. She wanted my work as her stepping stone. She wanted to look like she fixed what she hadn't broken. So I wrote a new truth and put it, like a time bomb, where the world expects truth to live. I replaced spreadsheets with mirages, numbers that glittered, charts that smiled but had no spine, promises folded into tidy cells that would shatter like glass when held. I seeded the fake data with just enough sophistication to survive a superficial glance, the kind of brilliance bosses love because it looks like genius and requires no accountability. Then I waited, because there is a difference between making someone look good and letting them wear your skin like a costume. There is a difference between being stolen from and handing your thief a rope. Tonight, I walked the corridor that smells of lemon cleaner and old money. I passed the glass offices where people keep their reputations on display. I watched her rehearse in the mirror of confidence. The CEO's daughter, sculpted and sure. She practiced smiles like a speechwriter, practiced the cadence of being indispensable. She did not know that what she held in her laptop would betray her. She did not know the soft footfall of consequence was already behind her, ready to tap her shoulder in the middle of applause and say, "This ends now." I replay the scene in my head, not because I enjoy revenge, but because every revenge I ever wrote had to be a lesson in clarity. The men who left me with nothing taught me how to measure silence. The client who trusted the wrong face taught me the geometry of deceit. I learned to plant stories like seeds, impossible to uproot without tearing the garden apart. Tomorrow, there will be a room full of suits and smiles. Tomorrow, there will be a projector that bathes everyone's faces in the same blue light. Tomorrow, there will be a woman who thinks she is untouchable, presenting a house of cards. And I will watch the wind. When she opens with confidence, charts up, breath shallow, eyes hunting for approval. The first click will move like a loaded quiet through the room. The slide will bloom, a graph that sings, a number that promises the moon. Heads will nod, the CEO will sit straighter, the client will lean forward, greed and relief mixed in equal measure. That moment is what she bought with my stolen key. That is the moment I stole back, but not with fists. I will use the grammar of evidence. I will let logic do the heavy lifting while the lie collapses like poorly built stairs. They taught me to hide in plain sight, so I will be the stillness in the crowd, listening, breathing, cataloging. I will wear the same corporate gray as the others, and in my hand will be the truth dressed as an innocuous question. A single gentle probe. Could you walk me through the source for slide 9? Then the unraveling begins. Small, surgical, a footnote that doesn't exist, a formula that yields nonsense when traced, a reference to a dataset no one can find. The projector will not understand what is happening, but the people will. Panic is a soundless currency in rooms like that. It spreads in seconds, coagulates into accusations, then detonates reputations. By the time they look up at her, the applause will curdle into confusion. Her smile will freeze. She will try to recover, to charm the market back into place, but charm can't rewrite math. And the CEO, the man who raised her to be untouchable, the man who counted on my silence, will finally see what I saw. The walls will close in, not because I attacked, but because the truth is heavier than the lies she carried. In that pressure, his empire of small violences will reveal its cracks. That is when his lies explode. When the first whisper becomes a chorus, someone will reach for the laptop. Someone will ask for the raw files. The room will smell like burnt toast and fear. And in that vacuum, I will stand and speak, not to gloat, but to finish what I started. I will tell them that I replaced the data, not to boast, but to show how fragile confidence is when it is built on theft. I will show the fingerprints of careless ambition. I will show them their reflection and ask, gently and without malice, how they liked being fooled. If you want to know how to set a thief on a path to exposure, watch people who value appearances more than truth. If you want to know how to make a lie look beautiful, ask the privileged who have never been asked to account. But if you want to know how to take back what was taken, remember this: revenge is not a scream, it is a ledger. It is the patience to plant evidence, the discipline to wait, the courage to present the facts when the room expects spectacle. It is the quiet surgical unmasking that leaves everyone to reconcile who they trusted and why. Tomorrow, the CEO's daughter will stand in front of their biggest client and find, mid sentence, that the world she borrowed does not belong to her. She will look at me, and for a second, a long, electric second, I will see something like repentance. Not the kind you film for pity, but the kind that arrives when you finally understand the cost of unearned triumph. Her father will see it too, and in that look, their empire will shift, like tectonic plates rearranging a map. If you felt that knife of tension, hit like, not for the revenge, but for the quiet that made it possible. Subscribe and share if you want more stories where truth finds its teeth. Support the channel via the link in the description. Your support keeps the light on and the stories honest.